Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Noelle and I do unboxings, mostly lifestyle subscription boxes, but a variety of other categories including books, beauty, jewelry, travel, home decor, the very occasional dash of Disney. So if you enjoy unboxings, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel and hitting the notification bell. That way you'll find out whenever I post new videos, which is usually at least once a day, whenever I announce giveaways, there's a couple going on right now, and of course whenever I go live. As always, if you're already subscribed, thanks again so much for being here and welcome back. Today I have a book subscription that is long overdue in me sharing it with you, and that is the lovely Literary Book Club. Now this is actually the October box. I have two more boxes that I haven't cracked yet that you should hopefully be seeing here on the channel very, very soon, but I did want to share this one with you. Now this is now a quarterly subscription. It was bi-monthly when I got this October box. It is $74.99 per box plus $10.95 in shipping. I do have a code for you. It's Noelle5. That'll save you $5, but I believe that she is currently sold out of the March box, so you would be putting yourself on the wait list, but she does have some of the past boxes available, so definitely check it out if you are interested in this one. I think that this particular October box is actually available. What is so cool about this is she finds the most beautiful editions of classic novels. So even though I was an English major, there are a lot of classic novels that I have not read, and I just think this is such a great box in terms of investing in creating a beautiful library for you and your family. Not only do you get that beautiful edition, you also get several lifestyle items to go along with it. Some are associated with pages, some are gifts that you enjoy as you read, and some are gifts that you enjoy at the very, very end. But it is often includes some of her beautiful artwork because it is put out by Katie of the Wildflower Paper Company. So I just think it is a really well done box, and you can tell that she is truly a book lover, a bibliophile. Now, like I said, this is an October box, so there's definitely a little bit of a darker fall theme going on. It would have been the perfect read, but I do actually like to read the novels when I open this book subscription because it is really about the experience of opening it as you go along. I don't do that with all book subscriptions, even though they might have things that are associated and created and curated for that particular box, but I like to do that. So that is part of the reason why this one is so late, so please forgive me. Let's go ahead and get the box open so I can share it with you. So I have peeked at everything. I know everything that's in there, but I actually put everything back into its little wrapper so you can kind of enjoy the experience along with me. Now, first of all, you guys, look at the stunning edition of Bram Stoker's Dracula. This is a Chiltern edition. This is actually my first experience with one of them. I just think it is so pretty. Can you see the gold and how it's embossed? It's got the gold edging, of course, and then it has that ribbon bookmark. It is pretty hefty, and as you can see, it is a pretty big book. I think it was like 460 something pages. Nice, thick, shiny pages. So it was just really a delight to read. I also just like loved the size of it. So, but I was always really careful. I didn't want to like take this with me on vacation because I wanted to keep this edition really nice and pristine. Now, like I said, sometimes there are page numbers associated with the items. For example, you will come across a gift and it will have a page number. So she doesn't actually go through and put little sticky notes like some different book subscriptions do, because this actually came shrink wrapped, the book did. So what I do is when I first get the box, I'll go through and just put little sticky notes myself. I'll usually just do little page markers so that I know that it's an opportunity for me to go and open up a gift if you want to do that. So that is definitely an option. That's kind of how I like prep for reading the book. So it's always kind of fun. But now there is a little card that has this beautiful wax seal, which I think is just such a nice touch. So I did open that up. And then we have this little note. It says, written by Bram Stoker, Dracula is gothic fiction with an undead twist. As an epistolary novel, the story is told through letters, journal entries, and newspaper articles. I read this book for the first time this year and was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. So I encourage you to give it a chance, even if vampires are not your typical subject matter of choice for novels. I can't wait to hear what you think of the book, the gifts, and the whole experience. Be sure to tag us. So this is what that looks like, but you guys, look at her stunning artwork. I just love the like goth kind of feel to it with this black and like blood red. And it was very interesting because yes, I did read all of the Twilight novels. I am not above reading Twilight, but this is where it all started. This is where all of those things, all of those superstitions, all of the things that you hear about Transylvania and Dracula and, you know, warding them off with crucifixes and garlic, it all came from this book. So it was very interesting because it was the first time I had read the original Dracula as well, and I did find it really engaging. I loved reading the stories. Now, I did find a typo in this edition where one of the dated entries was incorrect. It was supposed to be the 18th and they had it as the 8th, and for a second I got really confused, but I realized it was just a typo. But there were 3 different numbered gifts in terms of pages, so what I will be doing is I will read a little passage so that you will see how it goes along with the gift as we get to it. But let's take a look at some of the other things that are in the box before we dive into the book itself. So we always get a little bit of swag from the little literary book club, which is kind of fun to enjoy. So let's take a look at what we got this time around. So we got, there are mysteries which men can only guess at, which age by age they may solve only in part. So this is a nice quote from the novel. It is a decal, a sticker. Then of course we have like a QR code to find them online. We have a nice little book plate that has that beautiful handwriting and design around the edge, so pretty. And then we also have a matching bookmark. Now there is a ribbon bookmark as part of this edition, but this is also lovely. It says, "I am longing to be with you and by the sea where we can walk together freely and build our castles in the air." Castles in the air, you guys, that's where that came from. So really pretty, and again, it has the Wildflower Paper Company bookmark the logo on the back, so I should have used that, but I just used the ribbon enclosure, but that is really lovely. So if you guys don't know the story, let me just actually read a little synopsis. It says, Bram Stoker's bone-chilling vampire tale was not the first of its kind. The author was influenced by fellow Dubliner Sheridan Le Fanu's similarly themed short story Carmilla, published in 1872, 25 years before Dracula. But it is the latter that stands at the pinnacle of this horror subgenre. We would not recommend it to nervous persons for evening reading, the Times Review advised when it was hot off the press, indicative of the power of the text to those more familiar with comic or schlocky adaptations of this Gothic classic. English lawyer Jonathan Harker journeys to Count Dracula's Transylvanian castle to discuss a routine real estate transaction. Title deeds are the last thing on the shape-shifting Count's mind. He has a thirst for pastures new and fresh blood, and as the action moves to England, he gorges himself at the expense of the unfortunate ship's crew. That is some of the most memorable imagery, honestly, of this like a ghost crew coming in. Harker's fiancée, Mina, her friend Lucy Westenra, Dr. Seward, and vampire expert Professor Van Helsing band together to stop the undead Count from rising. Sort of true. Only certain weapons will be effective and not all of them will survive. Told through the diaries and letters of the chief characters, Dracula has a gripping authenticity and immediacy that draws the reader into its shadowy nightmare. So there's 2 like female kind of protagonists, and then we actually wind up with a crew of 5 guys going after Dracula towards the end. But again, it was a really enjoyable novel. So if you have not read it, I highly suggest it. Do not be scared by the thickness of the book. Now, for example, here, let me show you a little bit more. This is kind of what it looks like. Of course, the book was like kind of sitting right on top. There is a little bit of shred. So again, I kind of unpack everything a little bit so that I make sure that I'm not missing anything that I can enjoy while I read. So again, she obviously creates all of these lovely stickers. So while we read, this was kind of fun, you guys. We got to enjoy from Jocelyn and Company a Cosmopolitan Blush drink mix, which I did not enjoy yet. So now that I have finally gotten around to doing this unboxing, I get to enjoy it. So it just came in a little pack, so you can just mix it with whatever adult mixer you would like. So it does say you can do 3 ounces of sparkling water, add the powder and dissolve, and then add ice and vodka, which is my personal beverage of choice. But again, we've got the black and the red, very like nice and enticing cocktail mixer to enjoy while you read. And I just kind of like that that was a little bit of a deviation from, you know, read with some tea. So let's go ahead. The first one was on page 27. So let me find that. So again, we are still very early. So all of the gifts that were associated with pages were in like the first third of the novel. So, but it was nice knowing that there was another gift for us at the very end. It says, let's see, let me see if I can find it. Just as I had come to this conclusion, I heard a heavy step approaching behind the great door and saw through the chinks the gleam of a coming light. Then there was the sound of rattling chains and the clanking of massive bolts drawn back. A key was turned with the loud grating noise of long disuse, and the great door swung back. Within stood a tall old man, clean shaven save for a long white mustache, and clad in black from head to foot, without a single speck of color about him anywhere. He held in his hand an antique silver lamp in which the flame burned without without a chimney or globe of any kind, throwing long quivering shadows as it flickered in the draught of the open door. The old man motioned me in his right hand with a courtly gesture, saying in excellent English, but with a strange intonation, "Welcome to my house. Enter freely and of your own free will." So this is, of course, Jonathan Harker, who is arriving at Count Dracula's house. So it is associated with this little red velvet bag. So I was surprised about all the backstory of Jonathan and Mina, and like I knew that there was a Van Helsing, Professor Van Helsing, but he doesn't come into it until a little bit later. So we have this whole harrowing story at Dracula's castle. We got this lovely candle. It says smells like dark nights and mystery. So we have this lovely label. So this looks like a collab probably with a candle company. Let's see. It is from 406 Soap and Candle Company, Indeed, which I think that she has worked with before. So let's smell what Dark Nights and Mystery is like. So again, I haven't burned it yet. Has some nice droplets of blood, little red stones on there. Ooh, that's got, oh, it smells like sandalwood to me. So a little bit, it's really nice actually. So I actually really love that. So it's a nice little mini candle, little like light. So let's keep going though. We got another one not so far away on page 51, so I believe that they are still at the castle. Let's see. The windows were curtainless, and the yellow moonlight flooding in through the diamond panes enabled one to see even colors, whilst it softened the wealth of dust which lay all over and disguised in some measure the ravages of time and moth. So Jonathan is basically trapped in this castle, and he is realizing that he's trapped, and so he's kind of exploring on his own, even though he's not really supposed to. So it says, "My lamp seemed to be of little effect in the brilliant moonlight, but I was glad to have it with me, for there was a dread loneliness in the place which chilled my heart and made my nerves tremble. Still, it was better than living alone in the rooms which I had come to hate from the presence of the Count, and after trying a little to school my nerves, I found a soft quietude come over me. Here I am, sitting at a little oak table where in old times possibly some fair lady sat to pen, with much thought and many blushes, her ill-spelt love letter, and writing in my diary in shorthand all that has happened since I closed it last. It is the 19th century up to date with a vengeance, and yet, unless my senses deceive me, the old centuries had and have powers of their own which mere modernity cannot kill." So they're in the 19th century, but he's thinking of all the people who have sat there before, and he does have this very convenient shorthand, so he does actually get to journal about his experience at the castle, which is very harrowing, of course. So we do have this lovely velvet pouch once again, and we got this really nice set of 3 fountain pens with black ink. So it's in 3 different colors, so metallic. So we have this nice kind of a rose gold or coppery color, gold and silver, but I think they all have a different, they are fountain pen refills, and you can get the refills online obviously, but I think they have maybe different tips. I'm not sure. I don't know if I actually opened this or not. Let me see. I don't think I actually opened this, so let me see if I can get into it because I didn't slice it open. I was trying to watch me like cut myself and worry about vampires floating around in here. So, and then later on he falls asleep, which is why he was warned not to go snooping about the house, and he does indeed come across some lovely vampire ladies who want to suck his blood. So this is what it looks like. No, they are all the same, but it does have that nice 19th century feel to it. I actually used to do calligraphy, so I think it would be really fun to use these fountain pens. So that's kind of a cool item. Definitely has the bookish feel to it. And then we have one more that was associated. Again, this book is like 460 something pages. Our last page associated gift comes on 165. So it says, so now we are dealing with, there is some vampire attacking happening, but they're trying to figure out exactly what's happening. So Dr. Van Helsing is in play now, and he has brought some flowers to help guard Miss Lucy Westenra. So it says, "Yes, my dear, but not for you to play with. These are medicines." Here Lucy made a wry face. "Nay, but they are not to take in a decoction or nauseous form, so you need not snub that so charming nose, or I shall point out to my friend Arthur what woes he may have to endure in seeing so much beauty that he loves with so much distort." Arthur is her fiance at that point. Says, "Aha, my pretty miss, that brings the so nice nose all straight again. This is medicinal, but you do not know how. I put him in your window. I make pretty wreath. I hang him around your neck so you sleep well. Oh yes, they, like the lotus flower, make your trouble forgotten. It smells so like the waters of Lethe, and of that fountain of youth that the conquistadors sought for in the Floridas, and find him all too late. Whilst he was speaking, Lucy had been examining the flowers and smelling them. Now she threw them down, saying with half laughter and half disgust, "Oh, Professor, I believe you're only putting up a joke on me. Why, these flowers are only common garlic." So he is protecting her with garlic. And again, it's kind of interesting because they don't necessarily tell you how he knows that the host from communion or garlic or crucifixes work. It's all from, you know, just tradition and hearing all of these tales of other people who have come across the count. So here is our item, which I don't think I opened this either, but it's got a couple pieces that are falling out. So this is actually quite a lovely set. Wow. So wow, we got a little cutting board where she has actually had wood burned in the gorgeous florals. Wow, that is so cool. I'm wondering, it does actually kind of like match the vibe of it. So we have this, wow, and we have a little spreader spoon to make your little cheese board or what have you. But what I'm really smelling, you guys, is some garlic. So again, from Jocelyn and Company, garlic and cheese dip mix. It's 2 ounces, and I can really smell the garlic. So this is kind of funny. So I was always, the whole time I was like, I think that would be kind of cool. Although it would be sort of weird to like be sleeping surrounded by garlic to protect you from the flapping bats outside. It's almost like sleeping over a restaurant, I guess. So it is a little package that you're going to mix, of course, with a cup of mayonnaise. Maybe you could do it with sour cream, and then you can like toast it on a nice sourdough, which would be really fun too. So that's a really awesome gift. This is a little button that was included that says, "Ask me about my novel." For those of you who are writers, maybe using your fountain pen. And then we have our open when the last page has been read, this little package. So this is exciting. Haven't seen this either. Oh, Bibliophile Reader's Journal. Oh, this is cool. So it's a nice hardcover, so you can write down all of the books that you've read. It's got a space for your book title, author, the date started and the date finished. That would be kind of embarrassing for me. Plot notes, character notes, favorite quotes, and other books to read by this author. And you can even rate it. It has a little star rating. It does have a nice little ribbon bookmarker, so that is pretty cool. I don't actually have one of these yet, but this would be a really great gift to give to someone along with one of these classic editions. And then finally, we have a beautiful print, and this is always included in these boxes, so it is in a nice sleeve. It says, it has that same beautiful quote from the bookmark, "I am longing to be with you and by the sea where we can walk together freely and build our castles in the air." So I actually think that is so gorgeous. It's on great cardstock. You could definitely frame it. This would be really fun to have out, of course, for the fall season, the spooky season, because of the red and the black, but at least she chose a quote that's not like too dark. It's a little bit more romantic. And then finally, at the very bottom of the box, she does include a nice list of all of the items, just so you can make sure. So it's, you know, to keep it a surprise, you don't want to look at that until the very, very end. I usually go ahead and make a sneak peek just to make sure that I do have everything as I am putting those sticky notes on my pages. But so again, we got our gorgeous Chiltern edition Dracula, which I just think is so stunning. Like, in fact, someone decided to borrow this book while I was reading it, which is partially why it took me so long to get this to you. We got our swag bag that had the sticker, the bookmark, and book plate. We got this gorgeous 8x10 print, which would be fun actually to get this out, knowing that there's always one of these in there, and have this out if you like to do sort of seasonal decor. While you read, we got our nice cocktail mixer. I'm excited about that. Cosmopolitan blush. We got our lovely handmade artisan candle, which is perfect and did go with the page. We got our set of 3 fountain pens and a journal. So that is supposed to go along with this journal, so you can do that, although this said to open it at the very end. We also, but it's nice that those go together. We got our artisan peony wooden cheese board. You guys, I just think that is so pretty. I have so many cheese boards, in all honesty, but it's really cute that we got this. And of course, we got that nice little mix. You can make a little treat for yourself as you're reading those final pages. And our bibliophile reading journal, which I think is the same journal. I don't think there was an extra journal. I think she just listed the journal along with the pens. So I thought this was actually a great box. I am so sorry it took me so long to get it to you, but it is a gorgeous edition. It is a great read. I actually really loved it. So if you like kind of spooky tales, if you kind of want to know a little bit more about where all those movies get all of those sort of tropes from, this is where it started, and she does have some of this box available, so definitely check it out. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this curation, what your favorite item was, if you've read Dracula, and if you did appreciate this video, please do give it a thumbs up, and I will see you all very, very soon in my next unboxing. Hey, let's have a secret password. If you made it to the end, it's gonna be garlic. Why not? So garlic, put that into the Google form linked in the description box below. See you soon.